Hey guys, it's Mika Coleman with Tax Deed Overage and Education. And today I'm going to kind of show you my process. The auction is coming up next week. I decided that I'm going to do the beginning of the year focusing on tax deeds. I will be having my overage mastermind in March. I wanted to wait till probably like the third month of the year so I could have enough time to see what kind of overages are out for 2025. But in the meantime, these first 3 months, I've been heavily investing in tax deeds. In my opinion, they're quick turnovers depending upon what state they're in. As you guys know, this is Texas, and I use this website when I want to invest in Texas for tax deeds. And the website is taxsales.lgbs.com. It also will be in the comments. So let me just get started. So I'm going to start with Tarrant County. However, if you are in Texas, you can get all the counties right here that are with Lineburg, Gogan, and Blair. There are some counties that are not with this law firm. So I'm going to just click on here and I'm going to take away future sales. If you want to try to get to people before the auction, you would want to keep future sales on. But I like to work with people that are going to sell like the week before. Today is Thursday, so I'm a little behind. I have been looking. Some people may ask, why would you wait the week before? The reason being is because a lot of times people just forget or they get behind. And if you do any time before that, a lot of times all these properties are you're wasting your time because people will end up paying them. So more than likely, we're like 4 or 5 days away from the auction. If they're still on here, that means more than likely either one, they're deceased, or two, they just don't have the money to pay. So I like to do the week before because time is of essence and people don't really have, time to, they can't come up with the money, or like I said, they're deceased and they're easy targets to go after. Also too, strike offs are over the counters. I will talk about that later on at the end of the video. So stay tuned for that because that's something that is really good. I prefer strike offs than I do sales. However, a lot of the strike offs are properties that people don't want, but there's a nice size. But I'm going to click off of that for right now. And it's just going to bring me all the properties that are going to sell. And so as you guys can see, it went from I didn't show you guys this number, but it went from 300 properties to 47 properties. Now, if you're in another state, that is like a tax deed state, a lot of times they don't have websites like this, but they do have it on their county's website. This, in Texas in particular, this law firm is contracted with a lot of different counties. So I like to start here. I also want you guys to be aware, if you are investing in Texas, that sometimes this information isn't accurate. So the first thing I like to do is I go right here. As you guys can see, I look at more details. You see how it has a picture, this first one, and it actually shows you a home. And so it's saying that, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the jetted value. That has nothing to do with the property value. It's just the tax value of the property. And then it's just saying the minimum bid is $43,000. Now, in my opinion, this is a really good house. So for those that are listening and you're new to my channel, I'm walking you through how I decide if I'm going to bid on a property or not. And I'm going to just show you the different details. I also, too, will try to contact the owner prior to, if I have time. So I'm just going to go here. I'm going to look on Google Maps first to just look at the property because they have a picture of a house. But I'm going to show you in the notes where it shows that it's no longer a house there. So, well, it's still showing that there's a, no, see, that's saying 4010. If you guys see right here, it says 4010 Brookmeyer. That's not the same street as the property. Because if you look right here, see, it says 2908 Meadowview Drive. but it's bringing up a different property. I do not know why that's doing that. These are some of the minor details you have to be aware of. So, yep, no, that's not it. The reason why I knew this wasn't it is because when I go back here to the tax sales, I'm looking at the sale notes, and as you guys can see right here, it says land only. In my opinion, 43,000 for land only is pretty pricey, but I do know in some areas they are selling land for like 50 or 80,000. So just for the sake of this video, I'm just going to copy this address. And this, I'm using these tools for people that don't have access to the MLS, and I'm just going to search Google. And you can come, you see how it shows Redfin, shows realtor.com, it shows Zillow. So I'm going to do Zillow first. And so this is confirming what the attorney's office is saying. Like, it's saying built-in square foot. They don't have any reference of that. So it's saying 0 baths, like there's no house. So Zillow is saying that this lot is worth 100,000. I don't think so. But hey, maybe. So I'm gonna just go back to the search. Now let me go back here. And then let's see. I'm gonna go to Redfin. Let's see what Redfin is talking about. See, Redfin is showing like the actual property, which is no property. However, see, I like Redfin. Look at that. It's showing that this lot is actually 2 acres. So hindsight 2020, 2 acres, yes, is 40,000 worth 2 acres. Absolutely. I think this Redfin estimate is if it's a house that's built on it. I don't think it's necessarily the price of the land. However, I always tell people that this Redfin or Zillow are like 2 different places you can look. I feel like these numbers are very conservative, but it says they estimate the home value. So you have to realize if you're going to buy land, this is what they estimate the value of the home, not the actual land. So you would have to deduct. And I'm not a builder, so I don't really know. I know someone that builds houses for like roughly like 130 or 140 for a 3-2. So I would probably market this property to that person that builds, because if I could get 2 acres and I know that the value for these homes are 242 and he built houses for 130, he would jump on this, and I would probably sell this a little, like maybe 100,000, maybe 120,000. This is just off the top of my head. So now looking at this and I'm seeing like a physical picture. I'm gonna look on Redfin. I don't know why they keep bringing this up, because that's not the actual one. That's crazy. I'll go back. I don't want to redesign. Go back. I believe this is the actual picture, because when I go back to the county website, it's showing me land only. So what I would do is, one, I'm going to star this because this is a good one to look at. Number 2, it's showing me that it's the cases against Tarrant County versus United Stand Realty Mortgage Company. So that kind of like, gives me a red flag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this account number. I'm going to click on this, copy, and then now I'm going to go into Tarrant County and I'm going to look up the account number. And the reason why I do this also too is because, see, a lot of times when you're on this site, see, it's saying their estimated minimum bid is 43,000, but on the Tarrant County website, it's saying that the total due is 137. You do have to do a lot of research prior to going to bid, because at 137, they may start this bid at 43,000, but the county is telling me that they owe $137,000. So even if you got that property, you might have to pay all these fees. So let's just look in details what's going on. Let's view more. So what this kind of tells me is that there's other liens on this property with the county. I'm just gonna go see how far back they haven't paid. Ooh, it's been a minute. Let's see, what's the last time? You know what, I'm gonna go up here. Ooh, payment history, no records. Oh, Jesus, they haven't paid in a long time. Wow. Yeah. Dang, they haven't paid in a long time. I mean, I guess I'd have to run this through my realtor site, but I'm thinking that 2 acres for 137 may be good, but I don't know if there's any room to sell that. I would actually, this is a good point. So, like, let's just say this goes to the auction, and it starts at 44, and you get the property for 70. You got to know that there still is a remaining 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, a remaining $60,000 that's owed to this county because that's what they're saying. But I'm going to look up United Stand Realty. And for those that are watching, this is my process of how, and if you are wanting to invest, of how you should start looking, like if you're going to go invest in a tax deed property, to look at all of these different things. United Realty. I don't see anything on United Realty. Let me see United Stand Realty. Yeah, I don't know who these people are. So just for this video, I'm not going to go into the real estate, into the MLS, because a lot of people don't have access to that. So I try to use tools or show people that everyday people have access to. I'm going to go back to this. I was trying to see if I could find some information about the owner, but this would require a little bit more detail to see, like, when did the exchange of ownership, because based on what I'm seeing right now, this property is showing that there wasn't any payment history, and it goes all the way, oh God, like, look at this. Like, this was 1999, they weren't paying. So I have no clue what's going on with this. Since 1982, like, this is kind of strange. So this would be one that I thought it was good, but you see how I came to the county first to see how much is actually owed, which is 137. But if you go to this website, they're saying the opening bid is 43. So with that being said, the knowledge that I just did in my research is that if you were to get this property, there definitely are other liens on it. So that's something you would want to be aware of. So I start this one because this one's going to need a little bit more work. So I'm just going to go to the next one, and let's look at, this one looks like this is a property. So I'm going to go into more details on this. Now, this one looks like a decent property. The estimated bid is $74,000. The adjusted value is $258,000. That's what the tax assessors. I'm sure that this property is worth a little bit more. This is the owner. And if you scroll down, it shows that there is a real property in there. So what I like to do is kind of like, let's just go look just for the sake of it. I go to Google to just try to see when was the last time a picture occurred. And if you guys look down here at the bottom, it says that the last image was captured on 2024, which was last year. So I do know that there is a property. So for 80,000, this looks pretty decent. Of course, this probably is not going to go for 80,000, but even at 100,000, this property would be a good investment, depending on how much work is needed. So once again, I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to highlight the account number, copy that, and then I'm going to go back into Tarrant County. In the tax deed and in the overage business, it does require a lot of research. So if you're not the type of person that doesn't like to do research, this is probably not the best type of investment to do. But I think in any real estate investment, you definitely got to do your due diligence. You definitely got to do your research because you want to make sure you're making a calculated and an educated decision. So, for example, they're behind 25,000. So I'm just gonna look at the details. I'm gonna look at their payment history. So say they stopped paying in 2017. Um, what's interesting is it's saying that with the county, they only owe 25,000, but they're saying the estimated bid is 74,000. I still think this is a good one because not only is it a property, but the county is saying it's 25, and the what is this? Which side is this? What am I trying to say? The attorney side is saying it's like what, $50,000 more. So there may be some other liens, or they're just trying to make sure they started off higher. So one of the things I do is, of course, I will highlight this. And I'm like gonna go to Zillow, and I'm gonna go to Redfin, and I am going to look at. Now I am a realtor in the state, so I can look on the MLS, but once again, for those that aren't realtors and you may be investing in another state, these are good tools to utilize because it's going to give you a conservative number of the value. So let's see. Let's go to Zillow first because they always love to give their estimates. So yeah, so see, this is a really good property because it's saying its estimate is 350,000. Now, in my opinion, I've found that like Zestimate, Redfin, Realtor.com, a lot of times these sites for real estate are very conservative numbers. Oftentimes they go a little bit higher. So I think I did look at this one. I think they do have some HOA liens too. But that's like a whole nother system that you would have to pay for. So this is just really like general basic research. And so with this being said, I'm just going to stick with the estimate at 350,000. This property is worth. Now that I know that, I can go back to the website and say, okay, this is the estimated bid. Now, I'm only assuming that the attorney website is starting it out higher because they know the value, but technically, they only owe 25,000 unless there are other liens. And I think I did look into this one. There are other liens on this property. I do know in Tarrant County that if you were to purchase it, they do clear all the other liens. So I think that's why this is just for the back taxes. And then there are other liens because I believe this property does have HOA liens on it. So anyway, still with this being the opening bid at 75,000, and we now know a conservative number of 350,000, depending on if there needs to be any fix-up costs. I could probably go up to like maybe 150 and maybe sell this for 200 to leave room for the investor or a flipper. It just really depends on what your exit strategy would be. And then also too, this is all really subjective because I would need to now, like I said, today is Thursday, so that they're going to auction on Tuesday. I did do some research on these people. I think everyone's dead except for um, this guy on this bill right here. See, it says John Wayne Jr. Sneed, but on the taxes it's saying Sherry L. Sneed. I think she's dead when I did my research, but the junior isn't. But I haven't been able to find him. A lot of times these people, the reason why it's going to sell is because people can't find them. So it was just better to just go to the auction. The only downside about going to the auction, and this is only in the state of Texas, is that you do have to wait 6 months because they could come back after 6 months and they could redeem the property. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to show you guys. Speaking of, right here where it says view more information. Now, this only applies to people that are investing in Texas. So if you guys see right here where it says 2024 exemptions and 2023 exemptions, there's none. Now, if it said homestead right here, then that means you would have to wait 2 years. But because there's no homestead, you only have to wait 6 months. So, like I said, I wanted to leave you with a nugget at the end of this video. And so now I'm going to talk about over the counter. I don't talk about this often because not every state has them, not every county has them, but you can find them all in Texas. I'm not going to say all of them in Texas, but there are a lot of counties that have over the counter. So that's where the strike off would come in. So I'm going to take off the cell and see if there's strike off. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. Like you can see now, this is only in Tarrant County, and they have 2 strike off properties. However, what I have found over the last, let's say 5-6 years, it's better to go to the county. I have found that a lot of these strike offs on this particular website are not actually accurate. So, like, if you are in another state or another tax deed, I should say specifically a tax deed state, I would suggest going into the county. You don't oftentimes find over the counters online unless you go to the land banks. And Charles Noonan is really good about that. He teaches about land bank properties, but you can also Google that. And depending on what state or county you're in, if they do have land bank properties, I feel like they're kind of like one and the same. They will have a list. Sometimes they're online, sometimes they're not. Of course, I like to do counties that the lists are not online because your competition is less. And what normally happens with over the counter is you go down there and you get a list, and you basically could decide on which ones you want, and then it's a closed bid, and then the board will review them. And then if no one else has bid on that property, you get that property. What I would suggest, however, is if you're going to do over the counter, when you get that list, like let's say this is a strike off, so technically this is supposed to be like over the counter, right? So what I would do is, like, if I had got this, let's per se for over the counter, and it's saying this is available for future sale, so this might not be over the counter. I don't know. I do know Tarrant County does have over the counter though. Like they're saying the opening bid or the estimated minimum bid is $18,000. What I always like to do is go look at this property, place my bid on it. But before I place my bid on this, you guys, what I like to do, I'm gonna just see what the value is really quick. I like to have it sold already, pretty much point blank. The best advice that I could give any newbies that are interested in getting into tax deeds, you want to know who you're selling it to and what your exit strategy is going to be. So yeah, this one's really not a lot of money into it. They're basically saying that, well, it's conservative. I think land in Dallas is going for, especially like lots like this, are going between 40 to 50,000 depending upon the area. So maybe 20,000, and then you can make another 20 by selling it, for, or 30,000, selling it for 50,000. But I wouldn't buy it unless I already had an end buyer. So before you even go to the auction, you got to know like what you are going to do with the property. Are you going to keep it and build on it? Are you going to flip it to a builder? Are you going to sit on it? You should definitely know what your exit strategy is going to be before you start investing. But I hope this video helped you out. This is like the process that I go through when I'm investing for properties. Like I just, I go here and I go to the sale. But what I also have found through the years is that just because these properties are here doesn't mean that they're going to go to the auction on Tuesday. So I always double check them with the county before I even like drive out. So this weekend, like this one is still there, it's still showing that they still owe. And so this one is actually legitimate. And so this weekend, I'll probably drive by it to see what kind of work needs to be done on the property because this is a really good one. Even if I spend 100,000, there's $250,000 worth of equity in it. But I don't really know the exact number what I would spend on it unless I go kind of drive by. They say it's illegal to like go and look in the windows and stuff, but I have climbed through windows. I go knock on the door. You need to know what you're getting, but if I could get this for 100,000 and I know I have $250,000 worth of room, I know it's not going to take um, more than 150,000 to put this place together. So this is definitely would be a win-win for my strategy because I know someone that builds and they build from ground up for 130. So I know it's not going to take more than 130 to fix this up. So this would be a good investment for me and my end buyer. Um, and my strategy is always wholesaling to flippers. So this would be a really good one. But as you guys can see, there's 47 properties. They like what happens is like you see right here where it says status canceled. So that's why I try to wait closer because a lot of them will cancel as like even this weekend, like some of them by like tomorrow, people are going to go pay. So that's why I always try to wait closer to the auction. I know it's kind of crunch time, but it's easier to do it that way than waste your time doing all the research and come to find out that people end up paying it. So that's why I wait till the very end. But this is a county that I will more than likely be investing in if the ones that I really like are available. If I don't show up to the auction, it's because I've been able to get a deal and I don't even have to go to the auction. I can make a deal out with the person. But honestly, 9 times out of 10, when I go knock on these doors or try to locate them, I never could find them. I end up at the auction. So anyway, hope this video helps. This is just my daily work that I do, part of half the day at least of what I do when I'm investing in tax deeds. Happy investing, you guys.